Another key figure, I have to say, of Red Bull Racing is leaving the team. Gianpiero Lambiase.
How's that going to sit with Max? Where's Andrea Stella going to end up?
According to my information, he already signed a pre-contract with.
Now, Jacky, in our last episode, you mentioned that we should do another podcast if we have some breaking news, and we have breaking news.
We have breaking news indeed. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning. Tell us.
Yeah, a key figure of Red Bull Racing. Another key figure, I have to say, of Red Bull Racing is leaving the team. Gianpiero Lambiase.
Well, big name.
Race engineer of Max Verstappen. He's leaving Red Bull Racing by the end of 27. So he sticks to the team for at least this season and the next year. But then it's another key figure who's leaving Red Bull Racing within a shortened amount of time.
And he takes a lot of information and knowledge with him. He's been in the team since, well, he's been in F1 since 05. He's been 13 years at Red Bull, 45 years of age.
45 years of age, yes. I think this is his 12th season. Next year would be his 13th. Yes. And obviously he was working, long-term with Max Verstappen. Mm-hmm. When Max joined the team in 2016, Gianpiero Lambiase was already there. Together they won the first victory in Barcelona. We all know that. And what is it now? 71 victories, 4 world titles. It's a big bombshell, I would say, that Gianpiero is leaving the team.
Now, I haven't seen this written anywhere. So you're confident. Are you as confident about this as you were about Liam Lawson being flicked for Yuki Tsunoda going back last year?
Yes, and just as confident as Christian Horner is leaving Red Bull Racing, just as confident as Dr. Helmut Marko is leaving Red Bull Racing. Yes, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring it up. But yeah, I was just as surprised as I was, let's say, over a year ago when Red Bull Racing decided to swap Liam Lawson for Yuki Tsunoda. That also was a complete surprise for me, I think for a lot of people. And just like this, there were some rumors that he was in. If you have someone just as successful as Gianpiero Lambiase is, obviously there's interest. There's interest from Williams. There has been interest from Williams, Aston Martin, McLaren several times.
Where's he going?
Oh, we haven't said that yet.
No, tell us where he's going.
He's going to McLaren from I would say 28 onwards, but it also depends on gardening leave. So yeah, he's going to the other side.
Not as race engineer.
Within a shortened amount of time, he will become the team principal of McLaren.
Whoa, that is a big step up, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
He's head of racing at the moment at Red Bull. He took over from Jonathan Wheatley, right?
Yeah. Well, he has a combined role now. Obviously, he's also the race engineer of Max Verstappen. But yes, he took over some of Wheatley's jobs.
First thing that goes through my mind is, how's that going to sit with Max?
That's a very interesting one. I mean, we all know that he is very unhappy at the moment, and he is speculating about his future in Formula One. There is a chance that he might leave the sport after this year. And it's not that I know this news before Max, right? If Gianpiero Lambiase signs a contract with McLaren, I think the first person, other than his wife, is Max Verstappen that he tells it, right?
Before the team.
I think so, yes. Mm-hmm. I think Max is one of the first people that he's dropping this news to. So Max also knows about this. So if you add that to his unhappiness about the regulations, about the performance of the car, maybe this will speed his exit a little. I don't know. That's speculating at the moment. It really depends on if Red Bull Racing is catching up this year or not, if Max is leaving the sport. And, who says that he has to leave the sport? If Mercedes, for instance, is, still keen on signing Max Verstappen like they were last year, maybe Max is just moving teams. We don't know that yet. Very early days.
Yeah, surely Toto's still chatting with Max. He wants Max at Mercedes, doesn't he?
Well, he said he doesn't.
I think he does.
He's very happy with his two drivers, but Max is racing in a Mercedes GT3 car at the moment in Germany. And we've seen all the footage from him driving on the Nordschleife in a Mercedes car. Mercedes gets a lot of exposure with that project in GT3 racing in Germany. AMG is very happy. They are delighted with all the coverage there is for their brand at the moment. So yeah, I mean, what does that mean if Max is going to the A team, to the Formula One team?
Yeah, you don't have Max, you don't have GP, you haven't got Christian, you haven't got Helmut, you haven't got Jonathan, you've got a severely depleted lineup. And you've also lost a lot of knowledge. I don't know how many years, that's got to be 30, 50 years worth of knowledge there.
Yeah, and don't forget Adrian Newey, who left the team a few years ago. Rob Marshall went to McLaren a few years ago. It's quite the bunch of people that left or leaving Red Bull Racing, and maybe this is also the moment for Red Bull Racing to think like, you know what? Okay, we just start all over again. This is the year we brought a new engine to Formula One. Maybe we have to hit rock bottom and start from scratch. I don't know.
It's like a football team. You go to rock bottom, you get a new lineup, and in a number of years, you're hopefully back up the top.
One Italian is coming to McLaren. One Italian is leaving, because if he's becoming TP, then someone has to go, right?
That's right. And where's Andrea Stella going to end up?
Good question. According to my information, he already signed a pre-contract with Ferrari, which is also very hard, I would say. Yeah, you know, Andrea Stella is also Italian. Used to work for Ferrari for many years as a performance engineer. First with Michael Schumacher, later with Raikkonen. Won several world titles with the both of them. Mm-hmm. So and we have to say, McLaren has been extremely successful under Andrea Stella. They become world champion twice by the constructors. Mm-hmm. Last year they became world champion as well with Lando Norris. That's all under his lead. So I can imagine if you are Ferrari and you have someone working in Formula One for another team who was super successful back in the days with the brand, I totally understand why you want to sign this guy.
So you get Andrea out, you've got GP in running the show. Is he guaranteed any? Is there a money figure you've seen?
According to my information, he's gonna earn an awful lot of money,
right?
Millions a year. I think he will be, as soon as he's behind the wheel at McLaren, he will be the best paid TP. I think Christian Horner. Well, maybe. No, I think Toto Wolff still is.
Yeah, I think Toto might be. He's top level.
Yeah. But I think he's right. Well, not right behind him, because I think Toto Wolff is earning. The top drivers are earning. But yeah, he's up there. He's one of the top earners when it comes to the TPs.
How do you think this will play out once this word has spread from your article in the Limburger and this podcast here? What's it going to be like when we walk into the paddock on Thursday in Miami?
That's another 4 weeks from now, 3 weeks?
Yeah, 3.
I think this news already settled down then, but I think a few key figures have to answer some questions about this topic, I assume, because that's how it goes. We don't have a race until Miami, so you don't have the chance to talk to TPs or drivers or whatever. That's the funny thing I think from Formula One is that, you know, as soon as there's no race, it's getting quiet, I would say. There's not a lot going on. There's no news. Drivers do their thing. They're living their lives just like the TPs. They are at the factory. And then as soon as there's a race again, they all travel to, in this case, Miami. And then the whole circus starts all over again until Sunday. And then it's getting quiet again.
Yeah, I just can't wait to see what the media says. I know what the comments will be on this podcast on YouTube comments. It'll be, this is all bullshit. We haven't got any confirmation about this. Just the same as the Yuki stuff, just the same as the Horner stuff. But I think we just got to tell people, just be patient. It will come, and you will read about it, and you'll go, Jacky was right.
Yeah, once again. Well, that's what it was last time, I remember, when we did the Lawson-Tsunoda swap. It was very similar. Like,
yep.
How do you know Red Bull hasn't confirmed anything yet? And
you're lying, stop it.
You know how it goes. At some point, you start thinking like, maybe Red Bull is just playing with me and put Liam for another race in the car and making me look like a fool.
Yeah.
But you know what? There is... Yeah, that's not about a single article in the Limburger, is it?
No.
It's way bigger than my article.
So GP is known as being extremely direct and precise in his communications. I think that's a great facet, a great skill to have if you're running a team too. So he's highly regarded, isn't he?
Yes, I think so. The interest shows that, right? Williams, Aston Martin, they were all keen on signing Gianpiero Lambiase. We know he's doing well as a race engineer, and also all the other jobs he's fulfilling for Red Bull Racing at the moment. But TP is something else.
Yeah.
It's different.
How is he with the media? Does he do much? I haven't really seen him in front of the media much.
That's the interesting thing. That is the thing that amazes me the most. He barely does media. He doesn't like doing it, but he's really, really good talking to a camera, talking to a journalist, talking to a microphone. He's extremely good on that. So, yeah, they don't have to worry about that at all. He's very good on that.
He's Italian-born, but he's got a British accent. He's lived in Britain for his whole life, has he?
His parents are both Italian, so yeah, he speaks the language as well. He speaks Italian. So there was also something in my mind that was like, it's something that Lewis Hamilton said once, like every single Formula One driver wants to drive for Ferrari at some point. And I was like, you know, Max and GP, they are very good friends. They became friends during the years. There was always something in my mind that was like, maybe Max is going to Ferrari once and then bringing GP to the team as well. And he can be the connector between the Italian side of the team and the international side. Because we all know that you have to, if you don't understand Italian or if you don't speak Italian, you have a problem at Ferrari.
At the moment, GP is third in line in that team, isn't he? Behind Laurent and Pierre.
I think second in line. I think right behind Laurent. And
Is
I think
he?
they are in very good. Yeah, they are very in very good contact with each other. But that will all change as soon as, you know, obviously Laurent Mekies knows about this news as well.
Yep.
He has been informed by GP. Those things will change in the next 2 years. Because when someone is leaving the team, you're not bringing him in every single meeting anymore.
That's right. Yeah, you don't want him to take too much of that information to his new employer. And he will have to do gardening leave, and we don't know what that period is, correct?
No, we don't know that. But that's also something between the teams. For instance, Red Bull says, well, we want him on a 1 year gardening leave. I think they can say that. And then McLaren says, okay, so if we pay you £5 million, where does that bring us? Is that doing a little bit? Is that 6 months less?
Yeah, that might
works,
get you 3 months, and then another 5 will get you another 3. And then you just...
I think that it works something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but there will be other things that will happen as a result of this, won't there? There'll be driver moves, because this is pretty much silly season starting, April?
From today onwards, yes, I would say so, yeah.
And I know it's long term because his contract runs until 27, but there'll be positioning of people. There'll be managers out there talking and thinking, right, what does that mean for my driver, for me?
Obviously, this will change a lot. And it also starts with, what is Max doing next year? If it's true that Mercedes is still keen on signing Max Verstappen, that means that George Russell has to go.
Yep. Why, George? You think Mercedes is more invested in Kimi?
That's something that my gut feeling tells me. Kimi Antonelli is winning races. He is very young. He's very cheap at the moment. And his popularity is going through the roof. I think I saw something, but I'm not sure if it's true or not. But I saw some figures and some numbers of TV coverage in all the countries and how many people are watching at the moment. I think it's going downwards everywhere, except in Italy. It's going to the roof at the moment.
Yeah, and
obviously
I did
because
see
of
that.
Kimi Antonelli winning.
Well, I did see that, and I thought, I want to find the source. And I've not been able to find the source, so I really can't confirm that that's 100%. But I think if you say, hey, if it's falling off in 4 countries, because people are saying, oh, the regulations mean that people aren't watching in 4 countries, but in Italy it's gone up, but not because of the regulations, but because of a driver. I don't think you can say it's negative for that and positive for that.
No, but his popularity is going to the roof. His numbers on Instagram, he already gained a few million extra followers after his 2 races, after his 2 victories. Yeah, so that can be very... I mean, can you imagine an Italian world champion? Last Italian world champion, who was that?
I don't know, but what's it going to be
like?
Ascari? What's it going to be like at Monza? Is Monza our first? Yeah, it's our only one this year. Yeah, Monza.
Oh, we don't have Imola this year. Imola was pretty much the home race of Kimi.
Yeah.
I remember last year when he brought his classmates to the paddock.
Yes.
That was his own race. So, yeah, can you imagine? Monza is obviously, it will always be Ferrari land, but I think there will be a small island with a lot of Kimi Antonelli fans.
Especially because I go back to that day at Monza when he went out in FP1 and he put the car into the wall at the Parabolica. And I was there at that moment when he came around the corner. I thought, oh my gosh, just pure fluke. I was there and I saw his disappointment as he walked off. So he's come a long way from putting a car into the wall in his first session to back-to-back wins. Huge story. I know it's a long way off, but there'll be ramifications straight away. There'll be a lot of talk in the media about this. A lot of Max fans will be disappointed because he is a huge part of the Max team, isn't he? He makes a big difference.
They basically won GP and Max. And you said it already, like the communication between the two of them. There's not a single combination in Formula One who does it in the way they do it, like this loud and clear. There's never room for any doubts. In split seconds, they make the right decisions every single time. It was a bit the same with Bono and Lewis Hamilton when they were together at Mercedes. And Kimi still has a lot to learn, so maybe he will get there at some point with Bono, because I think Bono and GP are quite even when it comes to the level. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, if Max stays with Red Bull, it's going to be a big loss for him. But at the other hand, Max has a contract until 28. That means that if GP is leaving Red Bull Racing by the end of 27, he needs a race engineer for 1 year.
And it's always tough when you get a new race engineer. There's a whole lot of stuff that has to be developed very quickly. Max's focus will change a little bit because of that. So you wouldn't expect he'd be relishing this news, but perhaps it shouldn't come as a complete surprise after so many good years. And you can't deny GP the opportunity to do something better. And team principal of McLaren, it's a pretty good get.
Yeah, and it comes with a very good salary too. So, I mean, I think no one, also especially in Red Bull, no one is blaming him for doing that, right?
Well, this is exciting and uncertain times. Great for GP. Interesting for the sport, and well done to you, Jacky, for coming up with it first.
Yes, it's always nice to break stories, and yeah, we'll see. Maybe there will be some other breaking news next week or the week after. I don't know.
It will be a fascinating morning on the Thursday in Miami, in the paddock, the rather unusual paddock at Miami, which is so far removed from the garages. But exciting times.
And remember, guys, whatever happens in the paddock, you hear it here first.